welcome back to Big Oggie's Kitchen on Big Oggie World. So today I'm going to do a heritage recipe, and we've done a few of these heritage recipes, and I have to say I've not had one yet that's been bad, so that's why I'm going to do it. It's actually in May's edition of the Sainsbury's magazine, and if you do like a magazine with lots of recipes and things like that in, I can't recommend the Sainsbury's magazine enough. It's cheap, a lot cheaper than most of the other magazines, and the recipes are usually really good. So today we are going to make something called a Brummie bacon cake. Now I'm going to read you the story about this because we've actually never heard of it, and it's kind of, it says a cake but it's kind of not a cake. So anyway, let me tell you what it says. So it says, although the exact history of these savoury cakes is somewhat mysterious, they were mentioned in a newspaper report back in the 1920s and have been known anecdotally in the Birmingham area since the 1860s. It was originally a wartime recipe from the Ministry of Food, suggesting bacon cakes as a way to stretch flavourful but rationed bacon. And back then they also incorporated mashed potato. Now we're not putting mashed potato in ours today. This recipe has obviously been modernised. Also known as a Brummie breakfast cake, the dough is similar to a savoury scone, although it's got no egg in it, but it has got the addition of tomato ketchup and Worcestershire sauce, which makes it distinctive. You serve them simply buttered or as part of a cooked breakfast, and they're also good for picnics, pack-ups, or with soup. So they're very simple to do. And we are going to have ours this evening with kind of a fry-up. We're having it for tea, but you know, push the boundaries and all that. So to start off with, you need to get some streaky bacon. Now I'm using smoked, but you can use whatever you want. It doesn't have to be smoked, but I'm going flavour here. And you need 7 rashers. So obviously some is bigger than others, you know, use your initiative is what I'm saying. You put them onto a baking sheet, like so. And then we are going to put them in the oven whilst the oven preheats, okay? So your oven is going to need to be 180 fan, 200 no fan, and gas mark 6. So when you put your oven on, like I'm going to do now, you put these in and we're going to leave them for 15 minutes to cook while the oven is preheating. I'll be back. Right, the next thing we're going to do is into a mixing bowl, we're going to sift our flour. John will put all of the ingredients at the bottom as he always does, so you don't need to worry about how much. So sift in the flour, also the baking powder, and your little bit of salt. When you've sifted your flour and dried goods in, we are going to take our butter and we're going to rub it in like you would as if you were going to make pastry. Okay, it's not much butter, so there's not going to be an awful lot of mixing here. Okay, so our bacon has cooked. I'm sorry about the oven, but that was the whole point of preheating it. So you take your bacon, it's still quite hot, hence why I'm using tongs, and you take a pair of kitchen scissors and chop it into little pieces. Now, we've got our flour that we've rubbed in with the butter, and what we're going to do now is we're going to add to that 3/4 of our cheese, and 3/4 of the bacon that we've just snipped. Give those a mix in. Then we're going to take our milk, and into the milk we're going to add our tomato ketchup. And also our Worcestershire that sauce. Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to mix that together. I'm going to give it a little bit of a whisk with a fork. And then we are going to add the wet into the dry. Now, this dough should be soft but not sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add most of it, but not all of it all in one go, just in case. And the easiest way I find to mix dough is with a butter knife. Now I think we're going to be all right. And that is as simple as that. So now I need to get a baking tray ready, and I need to get some flour to dust the tray so that it doesn't stick to the tray. So I'll be back. So you're going to get your piece of dough, as I said, soft but not sticky. Put some flour on your baking tray or baking sheet, and we're going to make about an 18cm circle out of it. Now, I'm not good when it comes to measuring, so I'm going to kind of press it down, and then I've got a tape measure because otherwise I have no idea. Needs to be a little bit bigger than that. So once you've got your 18cm round, we're going to cut it in half all the way through. And then we're going to cut them into 8s. Through again. And through again. Like so. Then we're going to slightly separate these. Not pull them all the way apart, but just a little bit, so that the heat can penetrate and it can cook evenly. So still kind of leave it in the shape, just make a tiny little bit of space between the pieces. Like so. That one's a bit joined. There. Let me just wash my hands. Right, so we've got our 8s. Then we're going to brush with a little extra milk. And we're going to finish off by sprinkling a little bit of the cheese that we've got reserved onto the tops, and finally our little bits of bacon that we've got left. And that is it, as simple as that. So that is now going to go into the oven as your oven is preheated, so 180 remember, or 200 if you don't have a fan, gas mark 6, and they're going to go in for 20 to 25 minutes, and they're going to go like a nice golden colour, so keep an eye on them at 20 and see what you think. They may need 25. I'll be back. Okay, so there they are, fresh out of the oven. Too hot for me to take off the tray at the minute, so you'll have to just look at them like this. But they smell absolutely wonderful. They're kind of soft, as you would expect, like cake, not like bread. But obviously there's no yeast in it, so it wouldn't have been like a bread anyway. So they recommend now that you leave them 10 to 15 minutes at least to start cooling. And then the ideal thing then is to eat them while they're warm, split them, and have them with butter. As I said, you can have them with breakfasts and things like that, but they're also really good if you want to go and take a packed lunch or something like that, or to eat with soup. So really versatile. They're best eaten on the day that you make them. If you can't or don't want to eat them all on that day, you can put them into a low oven at like the day after or whatever, and slowly reheat them that way, and it will refresh them. So you don't need to worry about having to eat the whole lot all in one go. And because it's a cake stroke scone type thing, I can't see any reason why you couldn't freeze them, and then obviously you would defrost and reheat in a low oven as I previously said. So I hope you really like this recipe. As I said, the heritage ones seem to be really good. They've been tried and tested over the years, so, and they're still around. They've got to be good, eh? If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you know anybody else that might be interested, please send them our way also. If you have subscribed, thank you. I really appreciate it. And we will be back really soon with more delicious delights from Big Oggie's Kitchen. See you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.